Hello and welcome to another Naruto CCG Deck Profile. We've been on a very long journey together and we are nearing the very end of my constructed deck profile videos. This is a deck that I've been kind of hyping up for a few weeks now, and it is one of my favorites. It's completely original in concept and execution, and I think it's actually very good. Now, while this is one of my very last constructed deck videos, do not fret, I will have a lot more content on the way. I have, not fully constructed decks that are just in the concept phase. I have other concepts that are just in the Untap phase, and I have other ideas for tier list videos and stuff that I've just been too lazy to get around to. So, as always, I do use the Untap ban list with a smattering of the Great Ninja Tournament's Discord server rogue list. As always, I will tell you where the discrepancies lie, but I don't think there are any in this version. But I will tell you what's on each rogue list and any variations that might come out of it. And as always, you can find the full description of the list down in the description below. You can copy and paste it into Untap, look at it as you want, modify it however you want, download it, send it to someone else, whatever you need to do. So without further ado, let's just get straight into the deck profile. Starting off, I do run two Turn 0 clients. It is Michiru Tsuki. He's mostly used for his Land of Moon characteristic, but his effect is, at the beginning of your turn, if your turn marker is 5 or higher, you can discard one of your chakras. In that case, draw one card. It is any chakra, so any colorless chakra if you're using something off element, but this is a very good effect in the late game and allows you to kind of keep up in the state of the game where there aren't a lot of missions that are left to be used, not a lot of engines that are still intact. It does have the lightning symbol in its secondary symbols, so it is on element for the deck, and it is sort of just an ancillary card to supplement a Jutsu later on, but it is the best version we can get. With Turn 0 ninjas, I run 3 Messenger Ninja, probably the best Lightning Ninja for Turn 0 in the game, and one of the best Turn 0 ninjas in the entire game of any element, I think. But his effect is, during your mission phase, you can reveal the top 6 cards of your deck. If there are 1 or more ninja cards with an entrance cost of 1 or less and a lightning symbol, you can discard this ninja. In that case, put in play one of them and return the rest and shuffle your deck. If not, shuffle the revealed cards into your deck anyway. So this ninja essentially allows you to search for a better Turn 0 at the cost of this ninja being pretty useless and getting discarded. But the main boon is that it allows you to search for a Turn 1 or less. So on Turn 0, you can actually get a Turn 1 onto your field, and obviously Turn 1s are typically stronger than Turn 0s. The secondary benefit of this is it does allow you to sort of filter your deck a little bit. If you get this on the field and you search and you find a Turn 0 or a Turn 1 that you like, you can just discard this, put it in play. Now your deck is slightly smaller by 1 card. An interesting component of this is that because every effect in this game for ninjas is determined by the card, not by the effect name. If Messenger Ninja searches and you find another Messenger Ninja in your top 6, you can put that Messenger Ninja in again and use that second Messenger Ninja's effect because it is a fresh card, even though it's the same exact card, same text, same effect name. It's a little risky, but I've done it before and I've actually hit into 3 Messenger Ninjas, discarded all of them, and found another ninja to put in play, thinning my deck by 3. It was pretty awesome. But him being in the discard is actually very beneficial for a mission later. So know that if you can put this down in Turn 0, it's going to be very beneficial. Next, I run 3 Turn 0 Gama. He is a Fire and Lightning Turn 0 ninja, and he does have 4 combat, which is the highest you can get in the game for Turn 0 ninja without going on to the ban list. It does have Leaf, which is not really relevant, but it does have it. And its valid effect is this ninja cannot become the user of Jutsu cards. So kind of a trade-off for its extreme power. It does have 0/0 when injured, so it's not very useful after injury, but this deck's main component is swinging early and staying healthy, winning victories, and kind of snowballing off of that. So having a 4 on Turn 0 is going to be very good for you, going to allow you to snowball and get teams that are going to win victories later. Next, I run 2 Naruto Uzumaki Childhood, the Academy training version. His effect is valid. When this ninja is put in play or removed from play, move the top card of your deck to your chakra area. And when this ninja is moved to your chakra area due to the effect of growth, you can place 1 growth coin on target ninja. So one of the main ninjas of this deck is a Naruto, so having the growth component is very good. This allows you to hopefully not have to use or deploy on turn 3 with the Naruto we're looking for, while also pumping him up with the growth coin and the potential extra growth coin when he's growthed. A sort of caveat with this effect that I feel not a lot of people would really glean is that the second half is not valid. So if this ninja is injured and then you growth into Naruto with an injured childhood, you actually don't get the second growth coin, which is kind of a bummer because he does have 3-0 as his injured stats, which are pretty good. So you kind of want him to get injured just to be more powerful. But if you can foresee being able to growth into Naruto later, I would definitely hold off and allow yourself to get the 2 coins later. Obviously, you can growth into himself. He can growth into one of the turn 0 Narutos I do have. But overall, he's here to growth into the Naruto, give some growth coins, and make his combat a little better. I do just run 2 because 3 is a little clunky. There are a lot of Narutos and Naruto-adjacent cards in this deck, so you don't really want all of them running into each other. Next, I run 2 Kushina Uzumaki, Eternal Bond. She is limited to 2 on both of the lists, and part of this reason is because she has the growth characteristic, and her valid effect is, when this ninja is put in play, you can move up to 2 cards from the top of your deck to your chakra area. She's very good for pumping chakra in the early game, allowing you to use jutsus early on, and this deck does appreciate having some chakra in the early game as well. The growth component means that if you do put her down and get the Chu chakra, you can growth into her by moving the one on the field into your chakra area and putting the new one in play with a growth coin. And because her effect is when it's put in play, not when it's deployed, you will get the 2 chakra again if you desire. You do have to name if you want to move 1 or 2 as she's put in play. You can't decide afterwards. So just keep that in mind. You might screw yourself. But growth is very powerful. She does have 2 mental power if that's necessary. She does have 2 support, which is a pretty good support stat for turn 0. And her effect is obviously the reason why she is limited in the first place. So I do run her at 2 because any less is just kind of asking for inconsistency. And last for turn 0s, I run 1 Naruto Uzumaki, Legacy from the Fourth Hokage. His effect is when this ninja is put in play, draw 1 card, and valid, every Akatsuki ninja in your opponent's hand gets -1 entrance cost. So he's run basically to be a draw because draw power is one of the most important things in any card game. But I do also run him as a 3rd turn 0 Naruto in order to get the growth potential later on. I do want to run 2 Narutos on turn 3 at least, so that did leave room for 1 of these because they are all named Naruto. They don't have any parentheses like the childhood one does, so I can only run 1 of these. Like the childhood, he does have 0-0, but 3-0 when injured, so it is beneficial to get him injured just to get him more powerful. And unlike the other childhood, if you growth off of this one, there isn't really a detriment if he is injured. Obviously, you do only just get the 1 growth coin, though. He does himself have growth, so you could growth over your own childhood and get this one in play to get some growth coins on it, but I don't think that's really necessary. And obviously, the second effect is a detriment in order to make up for simply drawing a card by putting him in play. But he's still very good, and running it at 1 is just a little bit of a boost that is good. On to turn 1s, I run 2 Naruto Uzumaki Clone. This is the distraction version. Its effect is when this ninja is put in play, you can search your deck for a clone status ninja card, reveal it, and move it to your hand. So this itself is a clone status ninja card, so you can search for this one again, and because it does have the growth characteristic, you can put it in play by growthing it again on the next turn. The effect is not valid, so if you do become injured with the first one and growth over it for the second one will not get the search effect, so keep in mind, which is very detrimental, and you're going to have to think about the benefits of each, because it does have 0-1 when healthy, but 5-0 when injured, which is incredible for a turn 1. So it is very, very tempting to injure this Naruto and get that huge power, even if you do have the potential to growth off of it. Once again, I just run 2 of them because that essentially allows you to have 4 copies of your good Naruto that you want, because you can search that one out with this. Messenger Ninja also allows you to hit into this clone and put it in play on turn 0, so you can get the search very early on. This does also allow you to search for a Konohamaru Ninja Squad in a bit of a couple turns from now, which is very, very good. One of the best cards in the entire game. So being able to search that as well is very good, and more than makes up for the fact that you might, run into issues with your growth and with your combat. So I do run 2 of them. I would run 3 if possible, but I just don't have the room. Last for turn 1s, I run 2 Iruka Umino. It is the Origin of the Leaf Headband version, and his effect is, at the end of your turn, if you have no clients in your village, you can search for 1 client in your deck and deploy it, and then shuffle your deck. So very good effect. The only clients, obviously, are the Michirus that I showed earlier, because you do want to have that as early as possible if you can find it. So Iruka just allows you to do that for free, and just like other cards, it does sort of thin your deck for free, allowing you to make sure that you're not drawing into at least one of the Michirus later on. So he does have 2-2 when healthy and 0-1 when injured, which is a very good just general spread. He can be in the front if he needs to. He can be in the back if he needs to. And if he does get injured, he can just throw him in the back for a little bit of extra power. He has a little bit of mental power with 1, which is helpful if you're going to run into mental power with Kushina. But he doesn't have growth, unfortunately, and he doesn't really have any other effect. So once he is put in play and you get your Michiru at the end of the turn, he is pretty much fodder that you don't really need to take care of. So I do just run 2, similar to the reason that I run 2 of the Narutos. The Narutos being that you get to search out your Naruto, and the Irukas being that you get to search out your Michiru. So you essentially have 4 copies of each of those. On to turn 2, I run 1 Hinata Hyuga for the one she admires. Her effect is valid when your opponent searches or draws any cards due to an effect. Your opponent discards 1 card from their hand. Then you can draw 1 card and discard 1 card from your hand. So not only is it a big draw engine potential, but it is a draw punish potential for your opponent. Unfortunately, it is errated to be due to a ninja effect, not just any effect. So things like the Naruto that I showed earlier that draws, Gara Childhood that draws, those will be punished, but like missions won't be punished, jutsus won't be punished, which does limit it quite a bit, but it is still very, very good. Any of the cards that you pay 1 and then you can search your deck and move it to your chakra area, that's also punished. And a lot of the times when your opponent needs to do searching and needs to do drawing with their ninjas, it's part of a big engine that you can punish more than once. So it's very helpful. She does have growth, but obviously I only run the 1 Hinata. And she does have very good stats with 2-3 on turn 2 and 1-1 when injured. 3 support is very, very good. So getting her to sit in the back, support you, and just be a deterrent for your opponent is a huge boon. And otherwise, she mostly just sits there and is a nuisance for your opponent. I don't run any side deck, but I do have another Hinata that I would switch out and would recommend switching out for a side deck. So just keep that in mind. She also does have the 1 mental power if it ever comes up. So I would like to run 2 of these, but once again, there's just not enough room. And last for turn 2s, I run 1 Konohamaru Ninja Squad. Probably the best lightning card in the game. Its effect is, when this ninja is put in play, reveal the top card of your deck, then move the card to your hand. Note, this does not count as a draw, so if your opponent has this Hinata and you put in play your Konohamaru Ninja Squad, or vice versa, she does not proc off of the Konohamaru Ninja Squad. So just keep that in mind. Second effect is valid. Other Leaf ninjas in this ninjas team cannot be affected by the effects of your opponent's ninjas. So that's kind of why I pointed out the Gama earlier having Leaf, because almost every card in this entire deck does have Leaf. So he'll be able to protect most of your cards, but mostly Naruto from effects. There are some effects that can negate your effects, which is going to be detrimental to you. And there are effects that just outright kill your ninjas, like there's a guy, like I forget the effect name, probably like Great Blue Beast or something, that pays some battle rewards and then gives damage to one of your ninjas. They won't be able to do that on your Naruto. They'll have to kill the Konohamaru Ninja Squad instead. Very importantly, he does have clone status, which means he can be searched by the Naruto clone. And very importantly, because he has that clone status, he can use one of the Rasengans in this deck, which allows you to get sort of a sneaky jutsu clash that your opponent might not be expecting, because there are really only 2 Rasengans that Konohamaru can actually use. So that's very good. Just like with Hinata, he does have the 3 support, which is very, very good. And when injured, he actually becomes decently powerful for a turn 2 with 3 power. He might be able to head off some team. Like if you have Hinata, you could do a team of 6, which is the 2 of those. So he's very good, very important for protecting your Naruto. Obviously limited to 1 on both the lists, so you do run it at 1. Next, I run 2 Sakura Haruno Concentrated Punch. This card alone makes this one of the more expensive decks that I own. This whole deck being probably like $300 maybe, bought today. Yeah, this card is ridiculously expensive because it's very good. Its effect is, during the exchange of jutsu, you can pay 2 chakra of any color. This ninja gets +3/+3 during this turn. Additionally, when this ninja wins any victory, you win 1 battle reward. So that is kind of the crux of this deck strategy. This deck kind of relies on getting big numbers and swinging to win victories and win battle rewards without having to defeat anyone and without having to swing through to the village. So the goal with this deck was kind of to make your opponent have an impossible decision of just letting you swing through to win or blocking and winning anyway. And this card is extremely intrinsically important to that mode. Not only does she allow you to win the victory and win a battle reward off of it, but she also bumps your numbers up by 3, which is very good, especially 3 support if she's in the back, which just means that you'll win those victories even more easily. She does have mental power 3. Again, if you do face mental power, she has growth, which means you can growth off of the other one and put this one in play. As a side note, growth does transfer every effect and coin except for growth coins on that ninja to the growth ninja. So if you have something like a poison coin from a puppet, if you have any -1 coins from like Uchihas or something, you do have to keep those. If Sakura's comp strength, you keep those also. It's very annoying, but you essentially treat the new one exactly as the old one. Any negative or beneficial effects stay. But that does also mean you get to keep +1 coins if you have any. You do get to keep any beneficial effects that were on them. So that is nice. But I do run this at 2 because she is off element and there's no way to really search her or anything. She's not the key component of the deck, but she does facilitate it very, very well. And lastly, for turn 3s, I run 2 Naruto Uzumaki Growing Power. This is the key component of the entire deck, and his effect is valid when this ninja is sent out to battle. You can discard 1 of your chakras, that's any color. In that case, if this ninja's team wins a victory or an outstanding victory that turn, you win 1 battle reward. So just like Sakura, you can pay and win a victory battle reward off of it and put your opponent in a very awkward position. This is the entire basis of the deck, hopefully with your growth coins and your Sakura. And anything that you might have with this Naruto, you'll be able to swing out, and they won't really be able to chump block because you'll win victories anyway. He does have growth, obviously. I think every Naruto does, except for like Sage mode. So he can growth over the childhood, giving him a 5-2 when healthy and an 8-2 when injured, which is incredible. He is Leaf, obviously, but he's intrinsic to the strategy. You probably will need to use this every single game that you play with this. I'm going to keep him off to the side just to kind of reference when support comes up for it. On to turn 4s, I run 2 Killer Bee de 8th. It is the first card with a hand cost of 1 in this deck, and it is the lightning symbol, so any of your lightning can pay the hand cost for it. And he's very powerful. His effect is during the attacker's mission phase, which is your mission phase, you can pay 0 chakra to move 1 card in your discard pile to your chakra area. Then if you have 8 or more chakra, when this ninja wins any battle rewards during this turn, you win 1 battle reward. So this is kind of a confusingly written effect, but it has been confirmed that the battle reward victory effect is kind of static. So as long as you have 8 chakra when you win that victory or when you win that battle reward, you'll get your extra effect. It doesn't matter if you like go down to 0 and then build it back up to 8. You don't have to have it at the start. You just have to have it, you know, as the effect is resolved. This is very good just for recycling chakra also. This is a very chakra intensive deck because, you know, every turn Naruto is going to be swinging and paying a chakra, hopefully, to be winning a victory. So with Killer B, it becomes essentially free because you can just move 1 from your discard to your chakra and then pay for that 1 for Naruto. Same with Sakura. She's very chakra hungry, paying 2 for every victory. There are a lot of jutsus, so he's just very facilitating in keeping your chakra high and providing an effect where your opponent definitely can't let this swing through, because if he wins battle reward, he'll win a 3rd one because he'll win 2 off of his combat and just 1 extra anyway. Him winning 2 instances of battle rewards is also extremely important to keep in mind, so I'll keep him on the side as well. On to turn 6s. I don't run any turn 5s. I run 2 the Fourth Hokage Lightning Speed. His effect is valid when you win a normal battle reward or an outstanding battle reward due to this ninja's team. You can win 1 additional battle reward. And valid when this ninja is in injured status. This ninja's team cannot be blocked by a team with 1 ninja. So this effect has actually been flavor text changed a little bit, so let me actually pull that one up. So as you can see, this was reprinted in TP1, and it is the exact same effect, it's just a little clarified. The new effect reads, valid when this ninja's team wins any battle rewards, you can win 1 additional battle reward. And valid when this ninja is injured, this ninja's team cannot be blocked by a team with only 1 ninja. So I will just use the old one, but you know, this one's here for reference. I don't know. Here, if you can read it, I don't know. But anyway, this is a very good card. It's a definitely win more card, but it allowing you to win more based on the instance is incredibly powerful. For example, if Killer B swings out and is not blocked for some incredibly stupid reason, you will win 2 battle rewards just off of your regular 5 or more victory over your opponent's unblocked teams, winning you an extra 1 with the Fourth Hokage. And then you will win an extra 1 because of B's effect, which will then win an extra 1 with the Fourth Hokage again, essentially earning you 5 battle rewards off of this 1 unblocked team, which is stupid strong. Obviously, its second effect is also very good, that you can't be blocked by a team with 1 ninja, so you can't chump block once you have this ninja injured, which is kind of a double-edged sword because a lot of the time you do want your opponent to be forced to chump block so that they can lose battle rewards with this Naruto. But honestly, disrupting your opponent in any way is going to be extremely beneficial to you. This does obviously proc on all of the other instances too, so Naruto's victory effect will win the 1 battle reward. Sakura's effect will win the 1 battle reward. So there are just a lot of stacking instances of battle reward victory in this deck, and that's kind of how it all comes together. And lastly, for ninjas, I run 1 turn 6 Jiraiya, Instruction of the Hidden Technique. Its effect is during your mission phase, if you have Naruto Uzumaki in play, you can move 1 Jutsu card from your discard pile to your hand. This deck is very Jutsu reliant. Obviously, winning the victories is not going to be easy, otherwise every game would be easy, your opponent would just lose. So the jutsus are how you kind of facilitate getting your victories that you need. And this card gets you your jutsus back, which means even in the late game, hopefully, you won't have any issues kind of keeping your momentum up like a lot of decks don't. So he's very powerful, 7-2 and 6-2 when injured. Unfortunately, he doesn't get stronger like the rest of them do. And I didn't even mention the Fourth Hokage's stats. He has 5-4 and 6-5, 5 being insane as a support. It's one of the highest support stats in the entire game outside of gimmicks like Chikamatsu's puppets. So Jiraiya also having 7s and 6s is very strong. He can pair together really well and obviously is used to get your jutsus back. On to Jutsus, I run one Tsuchigumo style Forbidden Jutsu release Big Bang. It is a lightning and wind jutsu, and it costs a wind or lightning chakra. Its effect is charge one card, in that case draw two cards. So as I said, drawing is one of the most important aspects of any card game, and this is one of the best ways to draw in this card game. This is limited to one on both of the lists, and that's not going to change at any time soon. So the effect is basically allowing you to swap out this and one more card for two new cards, which means you can filter things out of your hand that you don't need, and it actually gets you a net +1 chakra while maintaining your hand exactly as it was. One of the only cards in the game that can keep you hand neutral. Well, that's not true. A lot of the missions do that too, but gaining you chakra also is how it benefits. So I definitely recommend this in every wind and or lightning deck, and this is absolutely not an exception. Next, I run 3 Unlocking the Seal, probably one of the first times you've ever seen this jutsu ever. Its effect is X chakra is the cost, and then the user gets +X during this turn. Obviously, the amount of chakra you pay is the amount you get in bonus combat, which is also already very good because the Naruto is relying on having huge combat, the Sakura is relying on having combat, etc. Then, if X is 3 or less, the user gets the following effect text during this turn. Valid. When this ninja wins any victory, you win 1 battle reward. So essentially it gives any ninja in your entire deck Naruto's effect, which is very good. Obviously it stacks on top of Naruto. Obviously it stacks with the Fourth Hokage. Obviously it stacks with Killer B, as the effect given to him does mean he is the one winning that victory and winning that battle reward. So that is a lot of stacking battle reward effect buffs for the Fourth Hokage and just buffs in general. One of the best parts of this jutsu is X can be 0, so if you're already winning the battle, even if you have 0 chakra, you can play this, pay 0. 0 is less than 3, so you do still get the effect for the battle rewards. So it does make your opponent think twice before chump blocking at all, as you might just have this hidden as a trap. A very good use for this is simply to throw it down in any single instance that you can win. So there's not really a best time to use this unless you foresee yourself being able to get the Fourth Hokage down and kind of double this effectiveness. But one of the best ways is just swinging out early. Unfortunately, you can't do it with Gama because he can't use jutsus. But like on turn 2 or 1 or something, if you have like Kushina with Gama, or with like a Naruto clone maybe, or with something that has already growthed and gotten some coins on it and it's going to win a victory, you can just throw this down, pay 0, win a battle reward. Or even underside is just paying up to 3 and winning the battle reward anyway, even with the buff. Something that is also worth considering is that you can pay 15 chakra, get yourself +15, not get the battle reward effect, but still just have +15. So very versatile jutsu and basically the exact concept that we're going for, so I do run 3 of them. Next, I run 2 Art of the Raging Lion's Mane. Very powerful jutsu, especially in this deck, as it has an incredibly synergistic effect. Its requirements are an entrance cost of 3 or more, so anyone, Naruto, Sakura, Fourth Hokage, Jiraiya, and Killer B can use it. The effect, choose 2 of the following and apply them. Apparently, you do select these at the time of playing the jutsu rather than on resolution, which doesn't sound right, but apparently that is exactly how it works. If the aspects of this are no longer applicable because they're not valid, it's in a contentious state, but it's possible that they still go off anyway and maybe just fizzle. It's kind of weird, not really sure, and we probably won't get an answer on it anytime soon. But those 3 effects are: 1, the user gets +5/+0 during this turn. You can already see how this is going to be beneficial because Naruto needs to win his victories, and this is just a straight up +5. 2, give 1 damage to 1 ninja opposing the user. Also very helpful. It's going to help you win a combat. You can combine those 2 into reducing your opponent's team by whatever amount their injured value is going to be reduced, and by buffing yourself by +5. So this could win you an entire fight that you're losing by a huge amount. And the third effect is negate 1 jutsu with 2 or more specific symbols and its cost being used by 1 ninja opposing the user. So also a negate. The combination effects are what make this jutsu incredible here. Every single one of these effects is extremely powerful and synergizes very well with the deck. This is the only outright negate that I have, but it is a very good one because you can negate a jutsu and give your team a +5. You can negate a jutsu, give a damage. You can give yourself +5 and 1 damage. You can damage and a jutsu. The options are not limited. I think there's like 9, but the possibilities are endless theoretically. So using this to just guarantee that you have these wins and potentially even score like an overwhelming victory or outstanding victory just by negating a jutsu is also going to be something that your opponent's not going to be very happy about. Next, I run 2 Moonlight Rasengan, probably another jutsu that you've never seen before, but it's incredibly powerful in this deck. Requirements are Naruto Uzumaki plus clone status. Unfortunately, Fourth Hokage cannot use it, Konohamaru Ninja Squad cannot use it, Jiraiya cannot use it. It's Naruto exclusive, but that's just fine. The target is the user, and the effect is the user gets +7/+0 during this turn. Already ridiculously powerful. It'll make you tie when your opponent's winning an outstanding victory for 2 more. And then additionally, if the target's team wins a victory or an outstanding victory during this turn, you win 1 battle reward. Exactly the same as the Naruto, the Sakura, the unlocking the seals. Incredibly powerful, just stacking that. And if you have a Land of Moon client in play, you win 2 battle rewards instead. So this is the reason we run the Michiru and the Irukas to get him out. Because if Naruto swings out with Michiru on the field, you use Moonlight Rasengan, you get +7. So if you're injured, you're going to be at, 14 power? 13 power. And then with the Michiru on the field, if you win your victory, you win 1 from Naruto, and then 2 from this jutsu. That's 3 just off of winning a victory, whereas your opponent expected you to win 0. So that's just very, very good. I do only run 2 because, unfortunately, if you don't have the Michiru, it's not the best jutsu. And if you don't have the Naruto, it's pretty much unusable anyway. Unfortunately, it is a replacement effect for the 2 battle rewards as opposed to 1, so it's not like you win 1 battle reward and then win 1 battle reward, because with that, using this with Naruto and winning the victory would mean you win 6 while the Fourth Hokage is on the field. But it does still stack, so Naruto would win a victory, win a battle reward, becomes 2 with Fourth Hokage, wins 2 more, becomes 4, wins 1 more with the Fourth Hokage, becomes 5 off of the total buffing of that. So you can see how this deck kind of, snowballs very, very quickly off of these victories and might make your opponent think twice about any battle at all, even ones they would normally be extremely confident in at least being safe. So I do run 2 of these as it's just a very fun bonus tech, but it doesn't exactly advance the game state. Next, I run 2 Rasengan. It's just standard Rasengan. It is the one with Konohamaru smashing Naraka Path. Costs 2 Lightning Chakra and 1 colorless, just like the Moonlight Rasengan does. And the requirements are Jiraiya or the Fourth Hokage or Naruto clone status or the Konohamaru clone status. So this is one of the 2 Rasengans in the game that Konohamaru Ninja Squad can use. And typically, I think the other one is much, much better. But in this deck, this one is actually pulling its weight very well. So the target is 1 ninja opposing the user. And the effect is the user gets +X/+0 during this turn, where X equals the target's entrance cost. So already you can see how that would benefit. You can remove a ninja from, you can get the bonus power for your ninja. Your Konohamaru can get very strong off of it. Your Naruto can get very strong and potentially win the victory there. Then move the target to the top of its owner's deck. So not only are you getting your bonus power off of what its entrance cost was, but you're removing their bonus power by limiting their team and just outright removing power from their team. Not only this, this synergizes very well because typically this is kind of less effective because in a normal deck, your Naruto will swing, move their ninja to the top of the deck, win a victory. That's it. Your opponent draws that ninja back the next turn, and if it's a good one, they just put it back in play. Obviously detrimental to have to use their deploy to do that again, but the ninja's not going to go anywhere very much. But in this deck, where Naruto is going to win a battle reward if he wins this victory, or anybody if you use Unlocking the Seal, Rasengan is now killing that ninja permanently because they're going to go to the top of the deck, and you're going to win that ninja as a battle reward, even if you are still blocked after the victory. So you don't have to push anybody away. You don't have to use this on a single ninja in order to get it effectively killed. So that's very, very good. This is also a potential pseudo-negate. As you can tell, a lot of the jutsus in this deck are just like number buffs. They don't directly defeat anyone in the showdown. They rely on you going, in the exchange of jutsu, they rely on you going to the showdown. So one of the earlier weaknesses I had with this deck was that any deck that just uses jutsus offensively could beat it because they just jutsu you away and you never make it to the showdown to win. This Rasengan makes that kind of an outlier because now you can, if your opponent's using like a Chidori with a Sasuke, you can just put him on the top of the deck and then still get a buff for the showdown like you want because you don't really care about like killing people in the showdown typically. So I do run 2. It is very, very good. I would love to have a third one because there are so many users, Konohamaru Ninja Squad, Naruto, but there's just so many requirement-specific jutsus for this deck, I just can't justify it. And lastly, I run 1 Fear by Genjutsu, the best jutsu in the game in my opinion. It is a fire and lightning jutsu with 3... As with every video, it's incredibly difficult to see these. I only buy the black and gold ones because I think they look so cool, but then it's so hard to see on camera. But it costs 3 colorless chakra, so anyone can use it. Anyone can pay any chakras that you have for it. Its effect is the target is every ninja battling against the user, and the target becomes a standby ninja. Additionally, if the user has a Genjutsu combat attribute, give 1 damage to the target. No one has a Genjutsu in this entire deck, so that's completely irrelevant. But the main draw of this is pushing an entire team back to standby. That's what makes this jutsu a limited jutsu on both of the lists and every list in the game. You can only have 1 of these, and it's incredibly powerful. I run it not only because, the effect of pushing someone away so you can just plow through and hopefully end the game by winning your victory, your battle rewards to close it out, but it also is basically an omni-negate where anything your opposing team is using jutsu-wise, you can just push them away and it's negated because it fizzles and, they're not on the field to use that jutsu anymore. Same for effects, just pushes them away. Their effect probably fizzles if it's like a targeting opposing ninja effect. But most importantly, it's usable very well with Killer B because Killer B, he's really only going to get his bonus battle rewards if he's unblocked, and your opponent is definitely not going to let that happen as much as they can. So using Fear by Genjutsu, even on just like a chump blocker, 1 ninja that they know is going to get blown up, pushes it back, and now Killer B is going to swing. He's going to get his 2 battle rewards for his victory, and then he's going to get 1 more for his effect. So it's just a very good combo. Synergizes very well with Killer B specifically, but is otherwise just the best, most generic jutsu in the game. Anybody can swing and push everyone back at a whim and win the game that way. So definitely recommend having 1. I run it in many decks, but this one specifically, it is very necessary. On to missions. I run 2 Comparative Strengths as a turn 1 mission with 0 hand cost. It is an earth symbol, but that's not really important because it does have no hand cost, so there's no payment that's going to happen. It is a counter permanent for 2 turns, which means it's only usable on your opponent's mission phase, and the turn marker or counter for it is still going to go down at the start of your turn, so it's really only going to last on the field 3/4 of the amount of time as you'd think it would. But the target is 1 ninja, presumably your opponent's ninja. Effect, attach this card to the target. The target's effect text is changed to the following. Valid. This ninja cannot become the user of jutsu cards with 1 or more specific symbols in its jutsu cost. So this is probably the best pseudo-negate in the entire game in terms of counter missions. Because this does not negate your opponent's effect, it changes your opponent's effect. So if they have one of those rare cards where their effect cannot be negated, this is going to do that anyway because instead of outright negating it, it's just going to change what their effect is. They no longer have the effect that's written on their card. They have this effect instead. It's not negated, it's just taken away. the effect it gives it is also very good for you too, because they can't use any jutsus with one or more specific symbols. And by specific symbols, they don't mean unique symbols, they mean specific. So Rasengan having 2 lightning is 2 specific symbols, even if they are the same symbol. And there are a lot of jutsus that fall into this category that you wouldn't expect. It's kind of rare at this point to have jutsus that don't have 2 specific symbols, especially like big game closing jutsus, because that's just how the game works. The more powerful it is, the more restrictive it needs to be. So unfortunately, it does only work like 3-ish turns: your opponent's turn, your opponent's turn. But using this on important ninjas is the way that you win the game. Stalling them out for 2 turns is basically a third of the entire game that they can't use that ninja. They can't growth out of this because this transfers to the new growth target, like I said. And they're essentially just going to have to sit there and wait for this to end. One caveat about this is that... Am I totally forgetting what I was going to say? Huh. Yeah, I don't actually know what I was going to say. But yeah, incredibly powerful. I run it at 2. 3 feels clunky. A lot of people run these in side decks, but as I've said, I don't like to side deck. I think it just feels cheap. So I do run these in my main deck, and I do only run 2. A lot of people run 3. A lot of people run 3 in their side deck. So just keep that in mind. For turn 1s, I run 1 Nice Guy Pose. It does have a hand cost of 1, and it is a lightning mission, so that's fine. Target is 2 ninjas. Effect, draw 1 card, then place a +1/+1 counter on the target. So a very weird downside caveat of this is that target 2 ninjas is required. So if you only have 1 ninja on the field, you are going to have to target one of your opponent's ninjas as well. Which means that with the effect, draw 1 card, then place a +1/+1 counter on the target, you're going to have to put a +1 counter on your opponent's ninja if you only have this one. So that alone makes this mission very questionable for me. I do like to use this a lot on turn 1, and if you don't hit a turn 1 ninja, you're going to be very torn, because on the one hand, you're going to want to draw your card and hopefully draw into a turn 1 or turn 0 ninja you can deploy. On the other hand, you're going to make your opponent even stronger, and with missing your drop, it's going to be doubly as bad for you. So I had 2 in this deck, but I have switched it down to 1 because it just felt bad in too many instances. But a very good thing about this is that they do transfer over through growth. So if you put these on a Naruto Childhood, when you growth into your main Naruto, he's going to get 2 growth coins and a +1 coin, which is crazy. So very beneficial, and the +1 on turn 1 is also very good. If you can get your 2 ninjas down, then obviously this is all upside, and like Gama will have 5 combat on turn 1, which means he can swing and win 2 battle rewards if unblocked. So yeah, he's very strong, but just a little too hit or miss for me to run at 2. Next, I run turn 2s. It's going to be 3 Bonds of Friendship, Wind and Lightning mission with 2 entrance cost and 1 hand cost. Its effect is draw 2 cards, then move 1 card from your hand to your chakra area. The effect, again, is during your mission phase. If this card is in your chakra area, you can remove it from the game. In that case, place 1 growth coin on a sand or leaf ninja. So obviously keeping in time with the theme of needing high power for winning victories, this card not only lets you draw, but allows you to get a free growth coin on any ninja. Just be aware, even if you haven't growthed before, if you put the growth coin on a ninja and then try to growth over it, the growth is not going to work, because it doesn't care if you have growthed before, it just cares if you have growth coins at all in order to be able to growth. So just wait a little bit and do it after. The move 1 from your hand to your chakra area is not the worst. There's a lot of cards in this deck that you want to filter out when they're no longer useful. Like if you have a messenger ninja in your hand, you could use that. If you have another Bonds of Friendship, you can use that, and now you have 2 that you can put growth coins on. So yeah, it's pretty negligible in terms of downsides, but it is still a downside to be aware of. You could obviously switch these out for Monster Research. I think it's one of the best draw missions in the entire game. But the ability to pump up your numbers artificially with growth coins from Bonds of Friendship was too good to pass up. So I do run this at 3 because even with the downside of the chakra, you're going to mitigate it with the growth coin, and you're still going to draw 2 cards, which is essentially as good as you're going to get for a turn 2 draw mission. Keeping with turn 2s, I run 2 Messenger Ninjas. Once again, a 1 hand cost, and its effect is if you have 1 or more Messenger Ninja cards in your discard pile, draw 3 cards. Incredibly good. 3 cards on turn 2 is essentially unheard of outside of this, and the condition that it needs to be met in order to get that is very negligible. If you've drawn a Messenger Ninja on turn 0, which hopefully you have, you can easily have one in the discard because it wants to be in the discard to use its effect. You can also just put your Messenger Ninjas into the chakra for hand cost and then pay them with Naruto to put them in the discard to use this. You can use them as chakra for unlocking the seal. It's very, very easy to get your Messenger Ninjas in the discard, and it's very rare that you won't be able to use this mission. On the off chance you can, it's just another target for Bonds of Friendship to move to the chakra area with its effect, or even just to use as a hand cost for another mission itself. So overall, very, very good. I never run this more than 2. It is not limited in any sort of way. It's just a personal preference. I don't think you want to run 3 of these because you will inevitably draw into them when you can't use them, even at 2. So having 3 of them just means that's going to be an even bigger detriment. And at the end of the day, you don't need to be spamming this every single turn if you have it. On to turn 3s, I run 2 Group Lesson. It is a 1 hand cost lightning mission, and its effect is move up to 3 cards with a lightning symbol in your discard pile to your chakra area. Additionally, if you have a Naruto Uzumaki in play, draw 2 cards. So incredibly powerful. This is hand neutral in that it keeps your hand exactly the same size after it was played because you get to draw the 2 cards with Naruto on the field. Obviously, you can use it without a Naruto, but if you do, this card is just not very good. But seeing as how you are hand neutral, being able to move 3 from your discard to your chakra is very, very good. As I've said multiple times, it's a very chakra-hungry deck. Naruto is going to use chakra. Sakura is going to use chakra. You're going to pay potentially infinite chakra with your unlocking the seal. You're going to be only getting back 1 with your Killer B. You might be paying 1 with your Michiru to be drawing on turn 5. It's a very chakra dense deck, but lightning is very, very good at keeping chakra, so this is one of those examples. Once again, I just run 2 of these because there are times where you don't have a Naruto on the field and it's going to be detrimental. There are times where you're going to draw this on turn 0 and you're going to have to wait like 4 turns to be able to use its effect, but also very good. It's in the standard lightning elements that I use. I usually run 3 Monster Research, but in this case Bonds of Friendship, 2 Messenger Ninjas, and 2 Group Lessons because typically every lightning deck is going to be running Messenger Ninjas and Narutos, so you know you're going to get all of them off. It is also usable to get the draw with your childhoods, with your turn 0 legacy from the Fourth Hokage Naruto. But, and something I forgot to mention early on, you will not be able to use it with your shadow clones because the Naruto Uzumaki clone does not have name Naruto Uzumaki. So unfortunately, this ninja can't count as a Naruto for Group Lesson, and it also can't use any of your Naruto requirement jutsus. So it can't use Rasengan, it can't use Moonlight Rasengan, it can't use any of it because in essence, it is not a Naruto card. Which is also beneficial because that means you can put down your Naruto in play while you have Naruto Uzumaki clone. And vice versa, you can put clone in play while you have Naruto Uzumaki. So you can search out Konohamaru Ninja Squad if you have Naruto down already. Maybe a design oversight, maybe 5-head design genius because they knew that you'd want to put your Naruto in play right after searching it. I don't know. But it doesn't count as a Naruto, and you need to be aware of that fact before you try to jutsu somebody with it. And for the last card in the deck, I run 1 Exaggeration. It is a turn 4 mission with 1 hand cost. Permanent for 2 turns, and just like the counter missions, it is going to last until your coin is going to be removed at the start of your turn. The effect is, when a ninja would receive any damage, increase that damage by 1. When a player would win any battle rewards, increase that number by 1. when a player would draw any cards, increase that number by 1. So, very, very wild card. First of all, it's an omni effect for the entire field. Everyone benefits equally from this effect. Unfortunately, your opponent will be the first one to draw after this is on the field, so your opponent will get to draw 2 cards first. But it does affect the draw phase, so they will get to draw 2 cards, and you will get to draw 2 cards at your turn. Second, increasing the damage by 1 means that your what's it called? Art of the Raging Lion's Mane, the second effect, does deal 2 damage, so that's very good. Obviously, damage is going to be received when winning a victory, and this deck is all about winning victories, so hopefully you'll just get kills left and right with that. Lastly, and most importantly, battle rewards, their values are increased by 1. So Naruto winning a victory with his effect, you will win 2 battle rewards with his effect. Then you will win a third one with the Fourth Hokage, which is increased to 4, so you will win, or to 2, so you will win 4 total. Then if you use Moonlight Rasengan, you will win 2 more for 6 total. That is increased by 1 to 3 for 7 total. I think I'm missing up my math here because I have to keep doubling it every time. But you can win like 7 or 8 battle rewards with this mission and just your standard rotation of jutsus. Killer B, because his effect is not a replacement, it is an extra effect, will get doubled by this. He will win 2 battle rewards in his battle reward winning in the showdown, which will increase to 3. He will then win an extra one, which will increase to 2, so he'll win 5 total off of himself, and then 2 more for his first instance with the Fourth Hokage, and then 2 more for his second instance with the Fourth Hokage. It's insane. It can get absolutely out of control. You can win the game in 1 turn, and there's no downsides for this for your opponent drawing. Obviously, your draw phase is going to be boosted. Your big bangs are going to draw you 3 cards instead. The possibilities are pretty much endless. Anything that happens is doubled essentially. There's an exaggeration, you know. I do only run the 1 because it is a turn 4 mission, which is pretty late in the game. It's not going to win you any victories early or anything. And obviously it is a win more mission. So you're never going to play this and now you're in a better spot. You are simply winning more quickly so that your opponent can't really catch up and there's nothing they can do about it. So I don't think it's worth running at any more than 2. I just don't have space to run 2 of them. And I think it's not solely necessary because, you know, you've got so many options for victories anyway. So I do just run the 1, and I think it's pretty good at 1 because you do draw enough in the deck to pull it out a lot of the time, more than you would think for 1 of. Lastly, we have the reinforcement deck. I run Naruto and Killer B. As I always have to mention, the reinforcement deck is limited to 15, but because there are cards in the game that can remove your reinforcements from the game, it's always best to have the maximum number of 15 in the deck. So even though I only own 1 and I didn't feel the need to buy more of these, I do think you should run 3 of them, even if you'll never get out all 3 of them or use any of them, because some of them might be removed from the game, and then you have extras, essentially. And there aren't so many in here that you need to save on space. So I do run, you should run 3 Naruto, Uzumaki, and Killer B. Turn 5, his effect is, when this ninja is put in play, place 1 growth coin on this ninja for every 2 battle rewards your opponent has, rounded down. So just another kind of safe bet for, you know, if things aren't going so well, maybe your B is injured and he can't get his effect off anymore, your Naruto is, I don't know, poison countered or something, you can just squat out into this, get a bunch of battle rewards if your opponent has a bunch of a bunch of growth coins if your opponent has a bunch of battle rewards, and kind of swing for more victories with like unlocking the seal or something. So basically just in here because it's an option, not really super relevant. Next is 1 Killer B version 2. Only card in this deck that I don't own. There was just 1 on sale for $50, which is pretty cheap. It's like 5/8 the price, and I only know that because it's 50 and it's normally 80. but I just didn't feel it was necessary because I almost never go into this card. It has 1 hand cost, and its effect is sacrifice Killer B. So you do take your Killer B that's on the field, remove him from the game permanently, and then you can put this in play. During the exchange of Jutsu, you can pay $0, move the head ninja of the opposing team to the top of its owner's deck. So essentially a kill for free. This is very, very late game card that just lets you steamroll. If your opponent doesn't have an answer to this, there's really nothing they can do. You just get to kill somebody every turn and then probably overwhelmingly win the victory and damage their back ninjas. And then what are they going to do next turn? It's not like they're going to magically get something that can stop that this time. It is not valid, but it does have a 9 combat when injured. So if it does get injured, it's still super powerful and it can just run through you anyway. So I do run 1 of those, but you should run 3. And I run 1 Naruto Uzumaki Aspirations. You sacrifice Naruto with an entrance cost of 3 or more. There's only the 1 option in the deck. During your mission phase, you can pay X chakra, search your deck for a Leaf Ninja card with an entrance cost of X or less, and move it to your village, then shuffle your deck. This is limited to 1 because there are crazy shenanigans you can do if you can have more than 1 of these. But it's very good if you're in a tight spot. Put this down, pay your chakra, maybe get like Konohamaru Ninja Squad if you need it, get your Fourth Hokage, maybe get your Jiraiya if you really need your Jutsus back. And, it just lets you search, do like an Omni search and put in play pretty much anything you need. Limited to 1 on all of the lists, like I said, so you just run the 1. And then I run 1 Fourth Hokage and Naruto Uzumaki, father and son. When this ninja is put in play, give 1 damage to all of your opponent's ninjas. When this ninja is removed from play due to the showdown, heal all of your opponent's ninjas. Very, very, very good with Exaggeration. It just lets you kill your opponent's entire field. And then, swing for free. I don't really go into it very much because the only options are your turn 6 Fourth Hokage and probably your turn 3 Narutos. And if you have your Fourth Hokage on the field, you're probably in a good spot for winning the victories and winning those battle rewards anyway. But it is just an option in here if you really need it. Maybe they have something in the back that's like very annoying and not valid, so they're just keeping it safe, never sending it out. You can pop it with this. I would also run a Naruto Sage mode, but I don't have any, and if I don't own any, I don't care enough to put it in as a proxy, so I just don't have any. So, yeah, I would run 3 Sage modes, if you have $1,800. And that is the deck. So, yeah, like I said, this is one of my newest and one of my favorites at this point. It's not based on any single concept I've ever seen, so it's almost entirely wholly unique, which I think is very fun. And it's very good. It's very consistent. I don't think it's like an S-tier deck, but it is viable at pretty much every stage. There's not a lot you can screw up by just needing to be strong and win a victory. So yeah, there's a lot of potential in this. I think I've kind of maximized the potential, but maybe there are cards that I've never really considered strategies. I know there's some cards that it's just like, what's his name? It's like Dosu's partner in the Chunin exam. It's like Misumi or something. I totally forget. I'm blanking right now. But he just like lowers your opponent's combat values by 2 for the turn, and that could facilitate some victories, obviously. But I don't know. I think the concept is very good, and I think the execution is very good. Probably the best I can do at the moment. I'm sure it'll change eventually. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. As I said, this is one of my last profiles of decks that I own, but I am nowhere near the end. I have a lot of concepts to run. I have a lot of ideas about tier videos, and I think I'll do some videos on like deck building philosophies and things that newer players might want to hear, or just people that casually want to hear my thoughts on it might want to hear too. So leave a like and subscription down below if you want to see more like this, or see anything I've done before and see any of the videos I'm going to put out in the future. But until then, I will say goodbye and see you in the next profile of whatever kind it might be. Bye.